Welcome back. Domain 2 Technologies and Tools. Creating custom Snort rules practice lab. Lab requirement. Task for the lab is to create Snort rules based on this following. Netcat is an nc.exe executable being used to create connections to suspected attackers. 172.16.200.2 IP address of suspected C2 control, so it's a server. Port 53 UDP traffic, TCP traffic, and on port 21's FTP service being used for exfiltration. So I give you a small brief in scenario explanation so you guys can understand. So you are a first responder and have received intelligence that suspected attackers have set up a C2 control server on your network and are communicating with it. You want to create Snort rules that alert you to traffic to 172.16.200.2 and DNS lookups on port 53 to monitor what DNS servers are being queried, as it is suspected that DNS is being used as covert channel to create outbound connections. You have also noticed that the suspected attacker download nc.exe from the FTP servers and deploy them on suspected system. So you want to see which server in your enterprise are downloading these tools to be aware of which system have been possible compromised. So let's go for the practice lab. So here we are going to configure here the security onion. Setup is already there. So you can find more informations on this lab here. There's the official website Security Onion, so you can find more information there. So first I'm going to enter the password. Yes, click yes, and then so we can just proceed, click yes. So now you can select the Ethernet 0, so that is what I am using. So we can now click OK and then click static. So we can configure our management interface on Ethernet 0, what I selected before. Now I need to choose the static IP. So going to set up the static IP now. And then gateway, so gateway as default. Because in your production environment you would use the static IP to you can use the static IP assigned to the host. So your security onion is on. So here is we choosing an IP that is not the gateway or the broadcasting, that is not already in use by other hosts on the network. So I click OK, and then DNS Server IP Address. So here the DNS Server IP address, we can just give the local host IP. You can also give the public DNS Google DNS 8.8.8.8. So I'm going to give the local. So then here the we can just give that any name suitable. So I'm going to give so now you can choose no, because when so no means when asked is sorry, we only want to configure. So because the reason we click no means we only want to configure our management interface right now. So that's why we are going to click no. So and then click yes make changes and yes reboot. So it will take some time. Let's wait 4 times. It's rebooting now. Okay, it's reboot done already. So in here after reboot we will take a look at some of existing rules that comes pre-written with the Snort. So how to do that? So we are going to open the path terminal. We need to open the Snort. So for that sudo leaf path etc nsm neon we can see that's the pre-written with snort .configure. This is already pre-written. So I don't make any changes here now. So now we are going to review the rule path variable. You can just search for the rule path. Let's say rule underscore path. You can here see. So in this variable, in the snort.configure file, we can now see the we're going to browse the new browse to the rule directory. So now we know that where the rules are stored. Here the rules are stored. So we can now open the new terminal, new tab. Just type cd etc nsm. So because you can see here the rules is stored here. So we see the variable is set to etc nsm rules. So we're going to open here now through the command prompt. So list -al. So what is inside the rule? So we can see that we can now view the rules, the web attacker. So there is a lot of virus.rule, snmp.rule. There's everything that I think the important one is a backdoor.rules, you know. So the web attacker.rules also, this all are the important pre-written one. So then these all are the pre-configured when you install Snort. So they can be very useful as a reference of when creating your own Snort rule. So just showing you on this. So now let's go to configure Snort and create custom Snort signature based on the indicator of known malicious activities. How do we do that? So now let's begin by revisiting the various files associated with Snort. For that, cd etc nsm. Okay, list what is inside. So we can now check all the snort.configure. Yeah, so we have already opened the snort.configure. So we're going to add here the rule. So just leave it as it is, you know, just open it, the snort.configure. So let's create a custom rules file. How do we do that? So we can now rules. Here we can now leave pad custom, just give any name, your own name. I'm just giving custom.rules. So I'm just creating that custom.rule rule file. So this is for the example. So you can also give any name if you want. So custom.rule creator, I mean the file is created. So we are now going to create the rule now. So I will explain this so one by one. So what is alert, what is TCP, what is any. So I will explain this one by one once I create the rule. So we are going to save this file. Okay, you can now see that last time is an asterisk customer.rules. Now after saved, so you can see here the changes, customer.rules. So it is custom rule, so I made a small typo. Anyway, customer.rule. So now, so let me explain here. So what the rule actually doing. So here alert TCP any the first one. So this one, so alert TCP any and then direction, forward direction is alert means what we want this rule to do. Options, examples include logs, activate or reject, something like that. So what alert. So TCP is a protocol, as you know. So protocol we are monitoring. So options you can also include UDP, ICMP, IP address, IP, something like that. So any means the source IP address or network, like a CID or a load, something like that. So any, again any. So the source port we wish to monitor. Okay. So and then directions, the direction we wish to monitor, meaning outbound. This one is outbound. If it's reverse is left side, if direction is left side is inbound. If it's both side is a both direction, something like that. Okay. So another any here. So any means the destination's IP address, CIDR allowed example. So and then this one, the port number, as you know, 21. So the destination port we wish to monitor. And then message, what message we wish to include in the message. Here established FTP connection, so what we are doing on this lab. Okay. So and then flag :s, and then so this one, this part, what this part doing means this is the sync flag in your TCP connection. Okay. And then SID is a small letter. So SID, yeah. So SID is, this is a security ID. So what we call security ID. So newer version of Snort required a security identifier with each log and will comply with their duplicates. So these are user created and must contain only numbers. Okay. So this is what I created. So one by one. So you can also it is the same process doing here. So any everything. So okay, so now let's go for that topic. So just we already saved the file. So now we are going to add custom rule to Snort config files. So we can now we have already opened the snort.config file. So we're going to change the following. I'm going to type this snort.leaf. Let me open the terminal. Open the new terminal again. So let's see, let's try test here. So sudo leaf pad etc.nsm.onion .config. I'm just testing this here. Okay. So we can now see so you can now see these numbers, the snort.exe, the snort leaf pad. So we have now added. So we can also check here. So we can also add the another. We can also check here. So under step 7, so we can see here that include rule path custom.rule. So we are going to add this. So here we are going to add the rule we created. Customer dot rule. So customer dot rules, what we created here, right? So we are now going to add here under the step 7. So under the site specific rules. So this is very important. Make sure there is no typo. And then yeah, okay, click save. So we can test our Snort configurations after making change. So for that, Snort-t. -t means test the configuration, T for test the configuration. Then -c means use the following configuration, something like that. So we can see running a test mode. So installing output plugins, installations process, and then error message. So everything you can see there. So now we can now test the custom rule. Okay, test the custom rule that we created. So for that, we can now test the custom rule by running it against a packet capture that contains data the alert should fire on. So you should always test your rules against a sample data set to ensure desired results. So I have the file, the captured file. So it should have run without error message. If there is any error message, there's something wrong with the rule. So I can see here, so 21 message, so there is error message. So I need to check that if there is error messages here. So because when you create the rules, you need to double check if there is any error messages there. So here we can see 21.message, what we see here. So custom rule. So yeah, there is a space. Let's check, give you a space. So let's check. Okay, now successfully done. So just make sure if there is any mistake here, so you will get error message here. So just make sure that when you're creating rule. So there is also a website there, how to create a rules, everything. So let me show you. So the blog.snort.org, so you can see the video tutorial as well. So install and configure labs, rules, so that the everything, the informations in the blogs you can find. And then there is so medium.com, so blogs, so there you can see some useful informations here. So very useful piece of information. So you can find that the whole how the Snort diagram, how the flow is working. So anyway, so now we have done successfully created and tested as well. So the rule is executed successfully, so tested as well. So then we are now going to examine alert created by the custom rules. So how to do that? For that, use the cat command, alert grep ftp. So just enter. So you can see there is a result of existing. So we can now only pull out the alert. So you can now copy it. You can now open the alert on notepad, meaning the leaf pad. So can you figure out how to find other alert based on the additional custom rules we wrote just before? Do you see any alert created by the custom rule? Yes, you can see what we created, the result outcome is fantastic. So we have a lot of informations, what we created, established FTP connections, so everything. So that's it, guys. We have configured the IDS to use a custom rule set. So that's it for the lab. So you guys play around with this lab. So just download that Snort and you can create a rule and play around with that. So you'll get more. So the more practice, you'll get more idea and understanding. So please subscribe my channel, press the bell button, share the video if you like. Bye bye, guys. See you on later more video.